Current quality control seems quite bad, and 1.1 feels rushed. Current issues should have gone noticed during testing. How do patches get tested before release? Important distinction here. 1.1 is not released yet. It is up on the experimental branch for the explicit reason of testing, both for us but also for a wider audience who are interested in just seeing the new content, upcoming content earlier while it's in development, and also fully understanding that the game content may not be finished or even straight up might be broken in places. This is also why EXP even goes as far as to tell you whenever you boot the branch up to back up your saves, because it can be at times that volatile. It doesn't happen often, but if you play on EXP, back up your saves before you do anything else. So I'll be real. This is my first rodeo ever at Coffee Stain as a CM, as anything. When an update hits EXP before live. 1.0 had a closed beta. We don't talk about that kind of deal, which was different. And before then, I just have not personally been here to gauge how well EXP branches have been doing or not, and it's just not been something that I have been particularly free to look into archives of or just hear about. So I'm going to defer to Hannah here. What's your just honest gut feeling about this EXP compared to previous ones?
I feel like it's kind of par for the course. I think there's a really important distinction to be made with intent here, because the reason that we put things on experimental is in order to give the community time to test out the new stuff, see what they like, see what they don't like, give us feedback. Right. The intent isn't to give you the full game playable and you play as usual. The intent is to give you a chance to actually voice your opinions, contribute, test things out, see what you like, all that kind of stuff. So if you go in with the intent to play this like you would a normal update or a different game that is fully out, there's going to be a clash because that is not what it's made for.
Definitely.
And that's why that's why we try to keep it a limited amount of time, because we know that people are really eager to play. And we know that people really want to get their hands on this stuff. And it can be really frustrating to sort of see okay, I want to play it, but it's kind of janky right now and it's still in progress and things are still changing, but all these other people are playing it and having fun with it. It's that kind of stuff. So we don't want to stay in experimental for too long and then go on to a full published release after that, so that you can actually play with the intent of just having fun without needing to have an opinion about it, without needing to talk to us about it, without all of that jankiness, right? So the intent of experimental is that it is maybe a little janky, but that's because we still, we publish a little bit before we're ready to fully publish it, because we want feedback on features. And if we would release, I don't know, and also kind of to do the kind of stress testing that we can't afford to do here, because we have external QA that does testing for us, a group of folks, and we have some internal QA that does testing for us. But again, this is a huge game with so many edge cases. It is extremely difficult to, with a small group of people, with a few weeks of testing, to get everything, especially because we are building this as we're testing this, meaning that a lot of the testing goes into things that you don't see at the very end, because those are things that have been fixed, or all of their attention goes to things that are broken, but they're fixed at this point. So that attention is technically not used for the features that you're interacting with, right? There's so many things at play here. But I think this one is pretty stable. Because we've had experimental releases that were more crash happy for sure. And those are always the worst kinds, right? Anything that causes the game to completely stop. Or to block people entirely. But yeah, I mean, it's an experimental branch, right? That's the whole point. And I think this one is pretty, par for the course. Like I said before, it's actually probably a little bit more stable than the usual.
Okay. Nice.
because we haven't had a ton of crashes. Like nothing has really exploded, so that's always good. But yeah, I mean, it's always, especially new features, like usually tend to introduce some more performance issues, and like everything gets pushed a little bit further and that kind of stuff. So it's a matter of attitude, I think, to see if you actually get the thing out of it that you want. Because if you go in expecting a full release, it's not meant to be that. So then you're probably going to be disappointed for a little while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you for the insight.
Yeah.